I bought a Tapper colt at the Keeneland September sale and incredibly excited about that purchase. It was a colt that had plenty of size and scope and carried himself with a real presence that drew me to him.
I bought a Tapper colt out of Black Coronas at the Phasey Tipton July sale, out of a Curlin mare, big beautiful horse. We're real excited about him coming up in the spring.
Taprit, standing at Gainesway.
Hey everybody, Jay Privman back for the Derby Watch along with my tag team partner Marty McGee. And Marty, we've got a lot to review from last week, but as we always do, let's start this portion of this video with an updated chart and showing where you've got the horses listed in odds order. A new second choice, that being White Barrio.
Yeah, we still have Epicenter of the favorite. I ticked him up a little bit to 4-1, Jay, and then slotted in White Barrio off his big victory in the Florida Derby. Smile Happy, who has gone unraced for a couple months now, but does run in the Bluegrass. He's third, up to 8-1, and then a couple of 10-1s, 3 at 12-1, and a couple at 15-1. Everybody else 20-1 or higher. But with all the action we had, you would have thought we might have slotted a few more in and a few more out, but the only two that were in new are the 1-2 finishers in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, those being Tiz the Bomb and Tawny Port, and the two on the way out, or all the way out, are Classic Causeway and In Due Time.
So that's our update as to how our list looks right now. Classic Causeway ran in one of the races that we are going to discuss, that being the Florida Derby. But we start with the Arkansas Derby. I was in Hot Springs for that race, and the winner was Cyberknife, with Barber Road finishing second. Cyberknife, Marty, was a horse who trainer Brad Cox has always held in high regard, and he finally is starting to put it all together. And Barber Road has just banged out a number of good performances throughout the series at Oaklawn this year. Ran in 4 races there that were point-scoring races. Didn't win any of them, but picked up points in all of them. I think Cyberknife still has some forward progress. He's still a little bit green, and I think he's got a chance to do even better than he did on Arkansas Derby Day. What did you think of the top 2 finishers in that race?
Well, I thought they were both really good, especially the way that Barber Road closed to get second from the Philly Secret Oath. Cyberknife, as you said, Jay, really has a lot of upside. As a matter of fact, I'm a regular voter in the NTRA polls, and I have him number 1 among 3-year-olds. So it looks like I'm staking an early claim to him being my Derby horse, as they say, although they haven't entered yet, as you would say. And but anyway, yes, Cyberknife did nothing wrong. I love the way he strode out late, and if I was Brad Cox, I'd be pretty happy right now.
And as you mentioned, Barber Road ran on well for second. One other horse who's on our Derby Watch list, Marty, who was in this race, is Un Ojo. He had won the Rebel Stakes at a big price in his previous start. In this race, he got bounced off the rail on the far turn when trying to rally inside of Barber Road between the 5/16 pole and the quarter pole. He ended up finishing next to last, came out of the race with a pretty good gash on his left shoulder that needed staples to close up. As of now, he's still on course to still run in the Kentucky Derby. I don't know if he's good enough to have hit the board in the Arkansas Derby, but he certainly didn't get a fair chance in the race, that's for sure.
He didn't get a fair chance, Jay, but it really makes the 75-1 victory in the Rebel look kind of like a fluke. I noticed that in Pool 5, which runs this week by Churchill Downs for the Kentucky Derby Future Wager, they don't even have Un Ojo on their 23 individually listed interests. The reason we do is because, if at all possible, he will run in the race. Now, I made intimations in one of my comments that he might be the first 100-1 shot we have in the Derby since 2001. Remarkably, we've had no 99-1 shots on the board. Now, you're saying he will get some sentimental play, being the one-eyed horse that he is and all that, the way that Patch did when he was 14-1.
That's 14-1, Marty.
Yeah.
14-1. Uno will not be 100-1 if he runs in the Kentucky Derby.
Well, I'm thinking maybe he belongs at 101, but maybe he won't be.
Right. He will not be 100-1. Like I said, with Patch being 14. Well, that's our look at the Arkansas Derby. Let's move on now to the Florida Derby with White Barrio winning that race. Charge It was second, and Simplification third. Marty, let's take him in the order. White Barrio, 4 for 4 now at Gulfstream. He had a teeny bit of a hiccup leading up to this race. I don't think it was as significant as the hiccup he had just prior to the Holy Bull. He's 4 for 4 there. His only loss was at Churchill, but he had some legitimate excuses, I thought, that day. I think this is a solid horse, and it looks like you do too if you made him your second choice.
Well, I bet Saffie Joseph hopes he has a little hiccup before the Kentucky Derby too, the way the last two have turned out. But you know, the Holy Bull to the 8 weeks from the Holy Bull to the Florida Derby was by design, so it wasn't as if he missed the Fountain of Youth or anything like that. But to have that on his resume, Jay, and the way he ran, and as handy as he is, he did get a great ride from Tyler Gaffalione, but he's the kind of horse who is going to be well placed in the Derby, and that's usually a pretty favorable thing.
Charge It, Marty, I thought ran extremely well, considering it was only his third start, his first time against winners, his first time going 2 turns. He showed, I think, a lot of his inexperience in the way he performed during the running of the race, and I thought he showed a lot of courage to finish second. My concern with him is that, to me, he strikes me as an all-or-nothing type for the Derby. He's either going to move forward off that and be a major player in the Derby, or it might take so much out of him that he just bounces to the moon. And I realize those are two extreme possibilities, but what do you think of him?
Well, I give him a big chance. Right about the 3/8 pole or so, it looked like he was kind of jumping up and down, but then he really leveled off, and then he started lugging in a little bit about the 8th pole. But I thought overall it was a great learning experience. I'm sure that Todd Pletcher is happy, and Mandy Pope's in with a chance. So I think they'll come to Louisville with some high hopes.
And Simplification, who finished third, I thought ran a sneaky good race. He's been a horse who's been near the lead in the early part of his career, but I thought in the couple races where they took him back, he performed even better. And in this race, he seemed to be a little bit aggressive early, put away Classic Causeway, and then ended up, according to Mike Welsh, our colleague down there, on the worst part of the track through the stretch. He said the rail was just no good on Florida Derby day. And I thought Simplification ran a sneaky good race to finish third. What did you think of his race?
I thought he ran pretty good. He'll have to move forward from that, obviously, and revert back to something like he ran when he exploded in the Fountain of Youth. But I'm sure that Antonio Sano and his crew will all be happy to come on back to Louisville like they did 5 years ago with Gunavera.
Well, that's our look at both the Arkansas Derby and the Florida Derby. The other race that offered points towards the Derby last week was the Jeff Ruby. A little bit of home cooking there, Marty, with 100 points for first and 40 for second. The race is on all weather. As you mentioned, our two newcomers to the Derby Watch Top 20 were the 1-2 finishers in that race, Tiz the Bomb and Tawnyport. I think these are nice horses, but I don't know that they're dirt horses. They've got spots in the field, but to me, they're outsiders. What do you think?
Yeah, that has become the major issue with that. You know, Churchill does own Turfway now. That's why they can make it a 500-point race if they want to. But anyway, it's a win and you're in for the first two. Tiz the Bomb has yet to really prove he's a top-flight dirt horse, given the way he ran in the Holy Bull. And then Tawnyport just kind of came from nowhere. He's a third starter for Brad Cox.
Yeah, Tawnyport's only previous dirt race was in the Risen Star. He didn't run all that badly, but he finished fifth. But that race has proven to be an extremely productive race exiting it. So we'll see how those two do when they try a 20-horse field on dirt in 4.5 weeks in the Kentucky Derby. Well, that's our look back at the point-scoring races from last weekend. Also here at DRF.com, you'll find a video of Marty and I previewing the point-scoring races that are coming up this weekend, those being the Santa Anita Derby, which I'll be at, the Bluegrass, which Marty will be at, and the Wood Memorial, which we're going to let Dave Grenning cover. For Marty McGee, I'm Jay Privman. Thanks for watching.